Alright, so today we are back on with the LP400 replica build. It's been a while since I've been on this car, and today I'm on my Todd because Liam's at work. Now obviously someone's got to go and earn the pennies and be the DIY tuner's sugar daddy, and it ain't going to be me because I'm broke. So yeah, we're going to take you around it, we'll discuss what's been going on, I'll remind myself because it's been that long, and I'll let you know why the body is floating above it. Alright, so I think last video on this, we had the body on and we were working out the roof and the A-pillar angles and stuff like that. So we're fairly content that they're not a million miles away and it will just be a bodywork issue once the body is back on the chassis permanently. But basically what we need to do now is, there's a lot of issues with the chassis. If you've never seen this before, go back a couple of videos. It basically had we'll call it a roll cage, but it wasn't really a roll cage because obviously the door bar doesn't go down to the floor and stuff like that. But what it had before wasn't really adequate, so we've chopped it out. I'm halfway through bending up the new one, and then there's a lot of other issues on the suspension side of things where like just bolts physically don't go through the holes and stuff like that. So I've got a mate who's doing a degree at the minute in engineering, or motorsport to be exact, and then he's going to scan all the areas and design basically some better adapted suspension, just so it works essentially. But yeah, the body is up here because unlike the other unit where we've got the Esprit, the Metro, the Datsun and the Jazz, we've got loads of space down there, but that unit is an hour from my house. Whereas this unit, I can walk to my house in 30 seconds, but space is a premium down here. So I've only got this one bay, which is a bit of a nightmare for a car that requires the body to come off to do a lot of the fabrication on it. So what I've done is we've knocked up this little frame to hold the body up there. Now that is perfect really because it's out of the way. I've sort of engineered myself into a little bit of a problem because I now can't pull the engine because of the height restriction obviously on the body. So what we're going to do today is make a little, like a little dolly table thing to slide underneath, and then what we can do is when we need to work on the car we can slide it out because this area here is always free, so people have access to all their bays and that. Then once we've finished working on it we can just slide it back in and keep it nice and out of the way. So yeah, let's get the tools out and start making the dolly.
At a jungle hut, this female finds a saw.
Alright, so that is now the dolly made. It's just a little bit of 4x2 that I had lying around. I was going to make it out of metal, but then I realised the price of metal is wild and I've just got some wood knocking about. So it only needs to be temporary. It's a little bit dodgy with the engine in because obviously all the weight's over the back end and it's got 4 casters on it, so trying to drive it on your own is a nightmare. But we've got it done, it's out. Next up I'm going to pull the engine out, which will make pushing it around on the dolly a lot easier anyway. And then I'll show you some of the areas on the frame that we need to address and the reasons why. Alright, so let's have a look around the chassis then. So if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know that when we got it, this top frame had loads of holes in. So they've already been filled up, I've welded them in. And then another issue on this side rail is essentially it got powder coated before the welds had been fully finished, which is a nightmare for, if you've done any welding before, you'll know that grinding out the paint to get the weld decent is probably the worst part of the job. Now we've got a soda blaster over there, so it needs a new nozzle on, so it might be worth me buying a nozzle for that and then trying to get the paint out of there. But basically I need to finish them welds up, and then what I'm going to do is I've already made some plates over here. Show me a little cardboard template. So we're going to gusset these pieces, so it'll sit in there something like that. If I can do it the right way around. So I'm going to gusset it like that, and then put some dimple die holes in, just for a bit of extra strength, mainly because I've got a new dimple die set and I've not used it yet. But it also allows me to add a bit of extra strength in that area with my own welding, without adding too much weight, because obviously we want to try and keep the weight down as much as possible, although it's not a race car, so it's not our top priority. Going on to the back then, there's a few things we need to address with this. So I don't know if you can see on camera, it's probably quite clear to be honest, but that tube there is bent. Now I've just looked underneath it and it's got a little dinging, so it might have been jacked up in that area sort of in the past. And then what's happened is, because this suspension mount here is not tied into the top bar, it's just allowed that to basically bend, which is a bit of a nightmare for us, because now I think what we're going to have to do is chop out from that mount there. So we'll chop this bottom tube out and then everything backwards, because all this rear section, if you look from the back end, is sort of a little bit tweaked. So we'll chop out everything that seems to be not symmetrical, and then we can start adding fresh in. We'll have to sleeve into this tube here. I'll probably do it a good 12-inch just so we can get a nice bit of strength back in. And then when Phil looks at designing the rear suspension and the mounting points on the chassis, we'll essentially tie this tube into the top one, and then should alleviate that issue again. And also when it comes to doing this back piece, we will put in like a strut bar, so a removable piece, just so that when the suspension load's coming up into the chassis that way, it doesn't want to flex inwards. But yeah, plenty of work to do and very little time. But now that the body is up out of the way and I'm not reliant on other people to help me move it, I can get down here a bit more often, and hopefully the fabrication on the chassis doesn't take too long and we can start doing some of the exciting bits. Well, thanks for watching. If you got any comments, let us know. Obviously, I'm an aircraft engineer. I am not a full-time fabricator, so it's always good to hear everyone's opinions, and then we can basically sift through them and see which ideas we want to go with. So yeah, I will catch you next time.